Yes, let's get started. Now, let's create the Dockerfile and build the image for our config server. Let's move on. Now in the config server, I'm clicking. I select New File. Dockerfile, you type it in. Guys, it should be written exactly like this. There's no file extension or anything like that. You need to write it this way. Just type Docker and add it. So, what does this Dockerfile do? Docker, in what we just talked about. So, what did we say here, guys? To run an application, you need an operating system, the JDK, then the jar, and then the run operations. Well, the Dockerfile actually provides all of these for you. In other words, it's a file that provides an interface for configuring the structures you can use to create images on Docker Desktop. Here, you write down the operating system you want to use and the applications you want to add on top of it, one by one, and you integrate them. Now, I'll tell you where you can find this and how you can command it. When I say hub.docker here, make sure to create an account here, guys. Otherwise, you won't be able to upload your applications. You log in here with your account. I've logged into my own account. I'm bringing it up like this. Now, let's go to the root of Docker Hub here. Here, in the export section, we're going to search right here. For example, what do I want to use? Well, I want to add an operating system. Okay, what are you going to use it with? With Java. I need Java. So, I need a setup where the operating system and Java are integrated together. Are these available? Teacher. Yes. There are ready-made setups where both the OS and Java are created together as an image. These are also my recommendations to you. Amazon Corretto. Guys, you can use this. In Amazon Corretto, Java JDKs are already installed. Guys, here you just need to choose according to which JDK version you used for yourself. The Java version I used was 21. That was the version. So I will choose an Amazon Core Retro for Java 21. You also need to pay attention to this here. Let me filter this by 21 from the text section. Let me also share a few things with you here. Let me do that. Look. Here, there are images designed with Amazon Corretto, and inside these, the JDKs are already configured in the Linux images. You'll see that the sizes change here. So, what do the sizes depend on? Why do these change? These sizes, friends, change according to the features inside them. Especially Alpine images are designed with as few parameters and minimal installations as possible. They provide the same performance, or sometimes even better performance. Some packages are missing inside these. I mean, Linux packages and such are missing. You need to install them yourself, but we don't need anything like that. In other words, you don't need a Linux operating system where you say, let this be included, let that be included too. Our main concern is this. There should be an operating system, Java on top of it, and our application should run. That's it. That's all we need. That's why Alpine images are enough for us. But there are other images as well. Well, their size is increasing. Friends, especially here, there are Windows images and such, in some things, JDKs. They can also go up to gigabytes, so there is no need. So, what do we do here then? Here we will first say that we will use one of these images. Here I say from Amazon Corretto. Amazon Core Retro. What am I going to use here? 21. I'm going to use version 21. Friends, here, Alphin 21. It's best to use the latest available version of 21. Let's see. There's 18. Let's write it like this. Alphin 18. Isn't there anything newer? Alphin 0. Alphin 18. I remember it was around 19, but am I remembering wrong? Let's see. Amazon, Alphin. Duration. Alphin 18. So the last time it happened was 10 months ago. Alphin. It should be 19, but it doesn't matter anyway. I'll choose 19 ways. I know it is, but is something wrong? I may have mistyped the version here. Let's see. 2. Alphin 19. You saw, it came up like this. I'm selecting this. Then now, what was in the structure, friends? An operating system and a JDK. Then where is your application and where is our application? Look, where is your application? Your application. So here, my friend, you say that it copies this. This year, under build, under lips, you say copy the config server jar as al and app.jar. This will go and copy the app jar you created to the root of this operating system, friends. Nice. Then what do? Your entire point, and you open a parenthesis like this with a running hand. Be very careful here. Friends, the common mistake is writing them adjacently. That's why it doesn't work. So you can't understand why it's not working. You need to leave a space. What will you say next? Java, comma. So how do you run a jar file in Java? Java tray jar. Afterwards, you write the name of the application, whatever it is. You always write it as jar. It will give an error. Let's say cdc on fig server like this. Let's switch to config server. Where was our thing? It's under this. Now look, I'm saying here, Java trajar build libs config server to jar, let me move it up like this. Look now, hop. It will come, then crash, but that's not a big deal. Since I haven't run it, it's not crashing yet. It will crash, because it needs an environment variable. Config server. Any request line I have will crash. As you can see, the application has started up. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. So if you want to start a Java application, you need to trigger these. Here I am saying that you should run appjar under root. Java jar appjar. So friends will run this in order. So my logic comes down to this. In order to start up an application, I need a computer, an operating system, a JDK, and a JAR. Then I need to trigger these. Look, this Dockerfile writes here exactly what I described with the declarative method. It says, for example, an operating system and a JDK inside it. Then copy the application here. After that, go ahead and run it. This was written here declaratively like this. So what will I do next? I need to create an image. Guys, so after writing these configurations, I need to turn this into an image and put it into Docker. So how are we going to write this? I want to write this right here. Guys, here you go and create an image with Dockerfile. Let's say create. Let me write it here. Friends, you can get it from here too. Let's make it 5 here. What will we write? You say Docker. You say Docker build. I will create a new Docker image. Later, after clicking threat, you type the name of the Docker image you want to create. What is this? For example, config server, config server. Then you give it a version, and 0, 1. Then you say period. Normally the basic thing that must be written in default is this is the basic part. But now there are things you need to pay attention to. I pay attention like this. First one. If you're going to run it locally, that is, if you're going to run it inside the Docker here, this is the correct method, so writing it like this is correct. But if you're going to upload this to the cloud, if you're going to send it to Docker Hub, this statement is incorrect. Now, this is the first method for this. So, number 2. What if it's going to be published on Docker Hub? Guys, in that case, you can't write it like this. So what do you need to write here? Look, let me show you now. Let's say I exit all of this. Right now, you don't have any account here either. It will look like this. It will say sir to you and please create an account on Docker Hub. I already have an account. Guys, by the way, you create and open an account for free. Then, when you click sign in here, it will ask you to log into your account. After you log into your account in the app, it will ask you to log in and just wait a bit. Yes, it will open here. As you can see, the application is now open. Guys, so right now I'm also connected to the network. So, what am I going to do? You will need to change the naming convention here so that it accurately points to your very own repository, meaning whatever your specific repository name is located here. First, your username, oops, I wrote it wrong, Muhammad Ali 55, / and here you write the name of the image you created. You will define it this way again. Is this the correct method? Yes. This creates a type of image that is prepared to be sent to Docker Hub. For you, if you don't write it like this, you'll have problems when pushing. Guys, just so you know. Now then, we have a third step. 3. If you are using a Mac, I mean a Mac with an M chipset. If you have Mac OS, then you can't use it like this. Guys, because, well, the Docker desktop available on Macs, guys, is compatible with M chipset. Because of this, you won't be able to use these images on the cloud. So, you'll have problems on Linux computers. So, how are we going to solve this? Guys, here after the build, you can specify the platform. You can define it. So, what are you saying? I'm saying Linux AMD 64. With a chipset, I'm going to create an image. When you do this, does everything work as it should? Yes. Look, only macOS users with M chipset need to write this. If someone using a regular Intel Mac writes this, well, they actually don't need to. Even if you don't write it, it won't cause any problems. But with the M chipset, it will. Alright, so what are we doing next? Here's what you need to do from this point on, guys. Muhammadal 55 Ali config server. Let me call this training config server. Training config server version 1. Okay, you're moving on to the deadline. Now let me say clear here. Please be careful. For example, you will probably be here. When you open this place, social media will write, so you will be in root. Please be careful with it. You are at root. What do you need to do now? You need to enter the config server. So you say change director. Config server. We came into this. Now, after you get into this, look, there is a Dockerfile here. Where Docker is, when you click Docker build, it will take the build process according to this Dockerfile. Now, you will understand when you see the codes it already processes. Then I get this code. I'm pasting it here. Don't skip the dot at the end. I didn't just put it there. I have to put the dot, space. You have to put the dot. Enter. Yes, let's continue. Look, what did it download first? It's downloading Amazon Corretto. Then it installs the Java JDKs. Then it copied our file. Let me show you all of it step by step, how it works. Look, it handled all of this in 8 steps. Look, it downloaded that. It completed its processes. There are the necessary images inside Alpine. It downloaded them. Then, as the second step, look, it copied my file. After that, it created my image. Guys, did it really get created? Let's go and check. Look, here it is. It came as Mahametal 55 training config folder. Guys. Yes, now this has become an image. Guys. We will do this process for all our microservices. And we will run them. I will be adding all the Docker files you need to write here for you. Guys, so that you can create all of these one by one, I will include both the code and the Docker file. I will be adding all of them here, and we will create our images here. So now, what do we do? Once you've created this image, you take it from here and push it to Docker Hub. Guys, it will go to Docker Hub, so it will reach here. Guys, look, let's go to your repo, to our profile. We have our repository here. Guys, it will come here. Guys, look. It will appear here with the name we gave it. This takes time, because you're uploading a file that's between 300 to 400 megabytes. You're uploading it. Guys, that's why this will take a little time, and then it will show up here. After it arrives, you'll continue with the next steps.